Okay, so my guess is you didn't finish your quiz over spring break, has gone and come and gone, and now you're like, oh crap, I have to finish this test and I forgot how to do it. So instead of me sitting down with each and every one of you who hasn't, this is your video to review for your sine, cosine, tangent, trig quiz. So first off, this one is finding the angles. So find missing angles. Okay, so if you are missing the angle, that is the very first part of your quiz. If you are missing your angles from the right triangles, first thing I want to remind you is SOHCAHTOA. And that stands for sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is, let me scoot that over, adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so our steps for this are pretty simple. One, label your sides. So what I mean by label your sides, write down which one's opposite, which one's hypotenuse, which one's adjacent. Okay, use your appropriate trig functions to create an equation. That's step 2. And step 3, put your values in. And 4, solve for the missing piece. Okay, so we're going to do 3, one with each of the signs, sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay, so I'm going to leave this right here so we can refer back to it. All right, now, first of all, if you are using a graphing calculator, you want to make sure you go into mode. Mode is right here. You want to, well, let me turn it on there, mode. And we want to make sure that it's not in radian, it's in degree. So move your flashing cursor to where you want it on degree, hit enter, and it's good. To get out of this screen, we just hit second mode, goes right back to where I want it to be. Okay, that's very important on the graphing calculators, especially when you take the ACT, because it's usually set to default mode, and that makes it in radian, which will give you a different answer. So, in this first one, step 1 said label our sides. So here's x. Hypotenuse is always, always, always across from the 90-degree angle. Always. Now, what I try to teach my classes is that you're playing a game of keep away. And when we're playing a game of keep away, here's the angle we're keeping it away from. We always laugh, and that's, ha ha, you can't get the ball. So that's your A, leaving this to be your OPP. Okay? So now I look at which letters have values next to them. Well, my O and my A do. So based on my SOHCAHTOA, okay, based on that, again, I'm going to say, well, opposite and hypotenuse, it's not that one. Cosine is adjacent and hypotenuse, not that one. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Well, that's exactly what I have, opposite and adjacent. So I create my equation. Tangent of x is equal to, opposite is 300 over adjacent is 400. Okay, it's very important to put the opposite in the opposite spot and adjacent in the adjacent spot. Now, when you're trying to find the angle, you are going to hit on your calculator the second tangent button, because that gives us an inverse tangent. So we will hit second tangent, 300 divided by 400 to get our answer. So I'm going to slide that over. So I'm going to go second tan, and see how it has that -1? That means it's going to do the inverse. That's what we want. And we're saying 300 divided by 400. Close my parentheses, and I hit equal. With angles, I like to just go 1 decimal. So we would say x is approximately equal to 36 point, and I'll go ahead and round that up, 0.9 degrees. Okay, so that's your tangent. Now, for the other one, again, I'm going to go a little quicker here just because I think you guys probably have it now. So again, I'm going to look at this next one. My H is always across from the 90. I'm always playing keep away with the angle, so this number down here is my A, leaving my OPP. Well, the only place I have values are A and H. And referring back to my A and H is cosine. So I'll say cosine of A degrees is equal to, and it's A over H. So A is the 6750. H is the 8100. Again, I'm going to hit second cosine. And then I'm going to put 6750 divided by 8100. I'm going to go ahead and type that in. So I'm going to hit second cosine, and I've got 6750 divided by 8100. Close my parentheses. And this one, A, is about, I would say, 33 point. I'm going to make that 5 a 6 since the number after it. Okay? And the only one we haven't done yet is sine. So real quick, I'm going to show you this last one. We have H, which is a cross. I'm playing keep away. Here's my A. Here's my OPP. So I have values at O and at H. O and H would be sine. So I'll say sine of X is equal to, opposite was 7, hypotenuse was 10. I'm finding the angle, so I'm going to hit second sine 7 divided by 10. Okay? And when I do that, I go second sine 7 divided by 10, close it up. I get 44.4 degrees. Okay? The next video I have will be about finding the missing sides.